Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones, the game where each week my players try to accuse me of trying to kill them, and I let them know that they're already dead.
Yeah, if you please.
So,
a slow, painful death.
indeed, as is existence. So, we are down a Jeff this week. So, we will be without our Nos, but we will soldier on without him, and hopefully he'll come back and join us soon.
He's on a life-altering mission with Zuko. I mean Josephine.
There you go. So, where we left off last time, you guys were at the homestead as Rebecca rolled up and was creepily crawling to you guys and starting to get ready to work her magic on Adele's face. when riding up on his large horse, Mr. McBride, the second command of your employer, Lord Pembroke, came up, as it seems that he was sent to make sure that Rebecca didn't get too creative. Liam and Adele worked together to remind Rebecca what Adele used to look like before her run-in with the Defiler, the Nos assassin that was on the train. Through a bit of time and effort, they eventually got it to the point where she can now see again. And though they're still waiting for her hair on her and eyelashes to grow back and eyebrows, the rest of her looks as it did before. Her eyesight being regained, her looks pretty much there with a few cosmetic tweaks. Liam then thought it would be a good idea to allow Rebecca to get creative on himself.
You make it sound like you might not agree.
It's certainly an idea.
It was an idea. As she peeled back the flesh in a circular pattern, exposing the muscles underneath, and caused a little ring of bone spikes around the circle to pop out.
It's in style.
I like him.
Let's see. While that was happening, you guys started talking with McBride and coming up with ideas of whether you guys wanted to handle the Lupine issue or the incursion from the Sabbat next, given that you had been given a little bit more of a timeline with the Lupines. You decided that it was best to try and tackle that first, but you were going to need to pool your resources. At that decision, Mr. McBride informed you all that one of the other generals of Lord Pembroke, Asmodeus, so far unsure which clan he's from, who is the weapons expert for Lord Pembroke, is coming, along with giving you guys the plans for the Gatling gun. You
Excellent.
also, Liam also telepathically contacted his sire with the plans to have more silver and the parts needed to.
Well,
not the silver, it was the
I'm getting
steel.
steel from him.
That's right. It was the steel to make the base to help mount this thing to your guys' carriage that you had gotten from Mr. Black. You went to Josephine, decided to share plans with her, see how things were going on that end. I'm trying to think. I know you guys did something else.
Like, we gave her the plans for the Yadon gun so she can
We
start.
gave her plans. We gave her money. We talked about
You
her
were,
extracting
you
the
were going to
silver.
go back to
Like,
San Miguel.
San Miguel to meet up with one of the other generals, Octavian, to speak to him about, I believe, the nature of lupines.
Yeah, we just haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were gonna that was the next phase that you were gonna, because Josephine needed some time with the plans, and it was gonna take a couple of days for the materials to show up, and it's
And
gonna
she's
take
going with Noah to extract silver from the mines.
exactly. Josephine decided that Noah can sneak her in, as she demonstrated to you all an ability of hers to be able to summon certain types of metal from the very ground as long as she's within a certain radius of it, thus allowing you to actually steal silver from the silver mines by having it almost liquefy and move underground to her, as long as Noah kind of watched her back while it was happening, as she would be very fixated on completing the spell. Bartleby was offered to go with her and dominated into ignoring his phobia of rats, or at least trying to get through it in order to complete the mission. And I forget, Chad, did you want to send Sonoy, or are you keeping Sonoy with you?
Nah, I'm keeping him with me.
Okay. And that is where we left off. So let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones. So McBride and Rebecca have ridden off. You guys have the homestead. Josephine and Noah and Bartleby are all geared up. They're getting ready to go out on their own excursion. So you guys have time to do your own thing.
Well, the mission is close enough that we can make it by the end of the evening and at least get some restitute once we get there. Is there anything else we want to do in town for a night, or should we head straight there?
I mean, unless there's any other supplies we need, I believe we're good to go. Like we should head on our way.
I agree. We should travel soon.
Yeah, much as I'd like to visit our town, everyone's regarding us and them as plague rats. Might as well get somewhere else for a time.
That's not even to count the plague hawks and plague cats and plague possums.
Jesus Christ, yes.
So many.
What would we have? I don't know if we have made the town better or worse. Another token of our luck.
I'm still waiting for the day that we run into some strange kindred who just likes to summon roaches everywhere. It's like, oh, look, a shadow. That's not a shadow.
The ancient ability of roach step will be very handy for them, I'm sure.
That was in the book of Hairspray. Broadway.
It's going to be that guy. It's going to be a Nos that looks like that guy from the first Men in Black movie, while the big roach is wearing like Edgar skin suit kind of thing.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh man! I should totally make him a Nos the next character I roll.
All right, so you guys are going to ride out to the mission.
Yeah, got nothing else to do. It's early.
We'll be onto the carriage.
We got time.
Are we taking carriage, or are we just taking horses?
However we want to do this.
I mean, the carriage, like Josephine's not sticking around. The carriage is ours to take.
What it is. What's the ride time to that again? I want to say it's like, was it 2 hours or was it more than that?
It was enough time that we could make it there within a night. We just wouldn't have been able to do much of anything else by the time we got there. That's why we had that little trading post in the middle we had to sleep at one night.
Yeah, so we can go and rest when we get there.
It was about 2 hours to the trading post and about another 2.5 hours to the mission from there.
And it's
It was
about
an inn, right?
No, it was literally just a trading post that the owner had been murdered, and you guys came in mid-robbery and decided
I remember all that part. I just thought it was an inn the whole time for some reason.
You know, I am curious to know if their, now, and unfortunately now their last surviving son ever got my message that it was up for grabs and we fixed it up for him.
We did have a lot of men there.
Y'all remember back when we had a human around to drive this carriage in the daytime?
We
'Cause
did just send him off.
That
I
is
don't-
very true.
I don't think we do at the moment.
we just
We might
sort
just
of
want to.
sacrifice
Yeah, well, maybe we should just make some haste and
Oh,
get
I
down to
mean,
the mission quick.
oh no, not on the way there. On the way back when we have time. And that's maybe.
We'll take the carriage.
Uh,
Then.
All right, but I ain't leaving the carriage out in the middle of nowhere in the daytime. I don't want to know who's gonna come check on it. If you know
Oh
what
no,
I
no,
mean.
no. I agree. It's a curiosity, one that will very likely just be fleeting, and I won't care about later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with wherever we stop. I just said I don't want to leave the carriage out somewhere. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
I think Walter is saying
like
who is
that
going
too.
to attend to the carriage during the day while we're out, because we just sent Swaddleby out.
Well, we should be able to park it inside the mission when we get there.
You just want to ride in style, don't you?
It's comfortable.
I mean, we have it. Might as well use it.
Oh, of course.
No,
mean,
I see
mean-
Walter's point though. Mostly because if we get attacked, because Lord only knows our GM is horrible.
Yeah.
It's better to be multiple targets than
game.
one
I
big
resemble that remark.
Rather, more accurately, he's mean to us.
one. I think he's trying to kill us.
He's good at it. He's
Yeah.
good at it.
We like it though.
See, the tagline for the show is accurate.
Mhm.
No, separate horses would definitely be separate targets. And we don't know if there's still any wandering Lupine in that section, since they did sort of slaughter the remaining Templar knights that were left around.
I was just thinking we can ride faster when we're not bound to a carriage.
No, I agree.
This is
Yeah,
this is
I
true.
mean,
This is true.
I'm all for not taking the carriage either.
Is Josephine still here, or has she left? I just want to move the carriage inside her shop if we can.
Also, you can, if you guys hurry up, you can catch her. Like, you still haven't left; you're still like right there. So I would say you're able to catch her right before she's gearing up to leave, and she can help wheel it into her forge.
Excellent.
And we'll just dismount the horses that we brought with us
Yeah.
with the carriage, anyways.
And I'll say, as you guys enter the forge and put in the carriage, you can either choose, depending on what your strength is, give me either a perception plus alertness roll or perception plus occult roll, depending on which one you want to do.
Alertness.
Deadly alertness.
I'll just try a cult, because, why not?
Okay. So Liam's doing occult. Is anyone else? 3 successes for Liam. Okay.
1,
It-
2, 3,
6 for
4.
Leia.
4 awareness.
4, 5.
That's the cult.
It would be perception occult.
Perception
If you're
occult.
doing-
Mine's alertness.
Okay.
Wait a second.
So I chose a
Mine
cult
was
spell.
alertness too.
Okay.
Well, what do I have in? It's the same, so I'll go with a cult.
Okay. So Liam and Adele are going for occult. Everyone else is going for perception.
Oh, well, hold on. Did you say it was 2 things or just 1?
I said
It's
it was
perception.
one or the other. So you can either choose to do a perception alertness or
Oh.
perception occult.
Okay, that's what I was confused about. Okay. Standard?
Yes.
Don't worry, my brain's turning on. I'll catch up eventually. Oh boy, hold up.
I'm so late 90s, early 2000s emo, everyone.
How's your live journal doing?
I'm on Friendster right now.
Xanga's better. I said what I said.
All I know is I can still find my hot or not profile.
6.
I was on there.
So team alertness.
Alertness.
You see, as you wheel it in, as busy as Josephine has been with helping to repair the town, going rat smashing, and working on things, she's put some work into the forge. As a matter of fact, it looks bigger than it did before, where there's still the main rectangular room that made up the main forge, but now there's little offshoots going off to it, like different rooms and everything. And you kind of peer behind some of them, and it seems like one almost seems to be like a little meditation area that she made for herself. Another one seems to be almost like a training room where she's kind of set up her own little gym almost. But it seems like there's more to it. She's also added ladders and things that go up to a second level that's going up around as kind of a balcony. And you notice that she's definitely put some work into expanding her private workshop. You know that she has her business in town for the normies, but you get that this is where she's experimenting, and you see a lot more blueprints and sketches and kind of a bit of scattering of notes off of long desks and tables, where you get different ideas that she's been working on. You see a couple different projects mounted on the wall in different degrees of completion. You see some stuff kind of discarded, where you get the idea that she had an idea, tried it out, didn't work, or got frustrated with it and kind of disposed of it. It's a little bit chaotic, but it's like an organized chaos. There's a method to it a bit. She seems to be like one of those that if you went and actually organized her working space, she'd be like, well, great, now I can't find anything.
Are there any like up there, are there any like just random tools?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a...
I'm just gonna straighten them.
You actually find a wall that has like pegs and hooks on it for tools. And
As soon as you walk toward the wall and reach up, Walter's going to walk up behind Liam and snatch the like back of his coat behind his neck and just kind of hold him in place. The second time he's been scruffed like a cat, except I think the first time on recording.
Other than comically waving his arms, Liam does not fight this.
I don't think that's a good idea.
As much as your intentions are, well, your intentions, I think that she's good with her own organized mess.
For those who rolled occult, you kind of knowing what to look for by looking at the small little runes that she's carved into that fence that surrounds the perimeter of her property, you notice on the ground what initially just looks like maybe wood burned designs and circles on the ground. You look really close at it, and you actually see in those wood burn marks is actually runes carved into that, as well as on the walls. The walls of this place are a combination of wood and metal, and along anything that's metal, just every rivet, every nail in there has a little something etched on it. I'll say with 6 successes, Adele, one, you're just happy to be seeing things again. But you remember before you were blinded, one of the books that you guys had retrieved from St. Angelo that you guys have been asking Henry about, the one about the mages that one of the generals down there was spying on. You start to notice one or two of them where they're actually kind of familiar. Go ahead and roll a wits plus academics for me, just to see how much you remember.
Just Adele, right?
Just Adele, because she got a high enough occult roll to.
2. I got 2 7s and 2 5s.
You notice a couple of the repeating ones were ones that were a warding or protection, and they look kind of similar to the ones out on the fence. You get the idea that's kind of for unwanted visitors. The other one is some of the ones that you pick out on the floor, you remember them being conjuration things of basically creating their own space separate from this reality.
Okay.
Other than that, you guys go ahead and wheel the thing back in there. Looks like, Josephine's been busy in practicing her arts. And you guys come back out. She goes, well, Huns, I hope you all do well on your mission. I wish me luck.
And to you as well.
Yeah, stay safe out there.
Noah's like, well, I'll try and keep her just as safe as I can.
Travel safely.
Bartleby just sits there and he's unscrewing a flask as he's giving himself every ounce of liquid courage he can. And they mount up and you see them ride off.
Well, I guess it's time for us to proceed ourselves.
Yep. Let's do the same. I don't know if I want to find out what her forge and whatnot's gonna do when she's gone.
Oh yes, the runes are cool, but I do and do not want to know what they do.
I don't remember, Sean. Did the carriage need 4 horses to draw it or 6?
It needed 4 to at least make it go because of its size, but 6 would make it go quicker.
So we have
So-
4. So we have 4 horses with us. If we want, if a pair of us double up, everyone we're set from here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind taking it down on one horse with me.
I'm taking my own horse.
Yes, your horse that you got from Joe is there waiting for you.
Yep.
Here at Shimasee Ranch, we have a lovely horse exchange program. Ignore the screams.
It's fine. Everything is fine.
You'll rev an end.
They're not being sad.
You'll scream till your throat is hoarse.
It's not leather, but it should be.
I can't believe it's not leather.
Oh my gosh. There it is.
Technically, I'll go on the rant again. Turkey bacon and pork bacon are both bacon. Human leather and other leather.
But you know what? Almond milk is not milk. It's just nut juice.
It's a voice acting thing. Human leather, cow leather. Human leather, cow leather. Human leather, cow leather.
Fast forward to us getting on horses.
Yes.
Yeah, please. Please.
Never get distracted.
Walter takes his own as well.
All right. So you guys ride out. Are we going for speed or are we going at just a moderate pace?
So in general, it would have taken us about 5 hours to get there, and we're leaving at about 10:30 at night.
Correct.
Okay. So again, is that like a...
Okay.
Yeah, so we have time.
Yeah, you don't want to be sauntering, but if you had it at least a gentle gallop, you would probably get there. You don't have to be whipping the horses into a frenzy.
Yeah.
We'll ride with reasonable time.
Okay.
As fast as we can without my horse
Exhausting.
keeling over, being unable to ride further when we get there.
Yes.
And did you guys want to take the roads or did you want to take cross country? Cross country.
What does Walter think would be better for avoiding
You have open
hostility.
road, right?
Sure do.
I believe I do as well.
I will say anyone that has open road, go ahead and make a wits plus survival roll for me.
Did I level my survival? I sure did not.
I did.
Like, that is a negatory for me.
And I'll say if you have open road, it's difficulty 5.
1 success. I rolled shitty.
Okay.
Oh no, that's okay because Walter is about to roll. 5 successes on that one.
Nice.
Okay. Wea, I'll say it's kind of a toss-up because you know from past experience that the road is probably not the most direct route, but it's also the one that's been making sure there's not rocks, boulders, trees, crap like that anyway, especially in the dead of winter. Walter, you are thinking that if you guys are going for speed, cross country would probably be the best way to go. However, if you're concerned about the lupines and stuff like that, they're probably more in the countryside rather than on the main road.
That is true.
Liam's just gonna have his silver set of gauntlets on already.
So you know that the trade-off is speed, but the risk of maybe bandits or lupines or things that are out there. Not to mention with snow, there's sometimes potholes and stuff that your horse can't see, and unlike with a car, a broken leg is a much bigger deal than a flat tire. You can go with the road, but it's going to take you a little bit longer. Plus, you might run into people.
If we go off road, it's more likely we'll get held up by something else we don't expect. So we should probably stick to it. It might be faster to get off the road, but
Yeah, I think the road might be our best option.
So we'll follow your lead on this one. But if we can do a combination of both and do the little shortcut here and there, I wouldn't be opposed to that as well.
Well, how about this? If we see a corner, we just do the diagonal.
Sure.
So we'll take the road.
we're staying on the road.
Okay. So you guys ride out of San Angelo. You're going down again. It's at this point we're starting to hit the end of December. Christmas is around the corner. It's pretty cold. Luckily, you guys don't really feel it. You all know horses enough that you put some extra blankets on the horses to kind of keep them warm during the travel. Where of all of them, your horse seems to care the least about the temperature.
I was gonna say once we kind of get a good distance out, I want to see how fast this horse can go. Once we find good distance, I'm gonna just go full speed for a little
Dex
bit,
plus ride.
and I want to see plus celerity. Not good. That's
By the way, did I ever give you this horse's stats?
I don't think so.
Remind me to send me a quick reminder after this, and I have them written up. I'll send them to you.
Okay.
I have Shadowfax's stats, but those are gone.
I botched. So whatever
Well.
that means.
Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Look,
Whatever
where is
that-
flying when he's not an owl?
I mean, bunch of fives.
Okay.
Worst comes to worst, I can stop it telepathically.
Okay.
Gee.
See, I tried to do something cool, and it's like, nah.
High or low?
Low.
Okay. You go and you're like, yeah, and go to get this thing going. It just continues at the same pace it was. It just, if anything, it slows down.
I'm gonna like kind of like shoot my shoulder over the Walter and just kind of like give it like a weird look and point at the horse.
You see this fucker?
Yeah. You see this shit right now?
And you are reminded that unlike your previous horse that was specifically ghoul to you, while this is a ghoul, a revenant is not connected by blood to you. So they have a little bit more free will.
They sell you a lemon?
I sure as hell hope not.
No, it's the horse.
What are you trying to do something over there?
I mean, wouldn't they say it would be the rider and not the horse?
I wasn't gonna say it.
If you want to convince yourself that, sure, go
I'll
ahead.
be
go ahead.
honest. I'm good on the field, but horses was never my. I never excelled in horse riding. I passed. I never excelled.
Well,
If you
you
wanna
don't look like you're
try-
passing any of us now.
As you guys notice, there's a little bit more gap between you guys and Wea, as his horse is now taking it at a leisurely stroll. Now, Wea, if you want to intimidate the horse or try and warm up to it, I'll say charisma plus animal ken if you're trying to be nice and get it on your side and introduce yourself. Manipulation plus animal ken to give it the or else method.
I'll do the charisma. And
Okay.
animal ken.
And then you gotta do feral whispers so that way you can speak with the horse.
Yeah, I'll do feral whispers to speak telepathically to it and see if that helps. Okay, that's much better, guys. This is good.
Right. How much better?
Much better. 1, 2.
Much better.
It's more better.
5 successes on that.
Okay.
Much better.
What do you say to the horse?
I'm gonna say, I know we haven't been introduced, and you don't know me, but my name is Wea, and you are now bonded to me, and you will take my command.
Take it.
Yeah, that's what I will say.
Okay. So you went for a little bit of both.
I mean, it's just a little dash of the slight, but I'm not being aggressive about it.
Yeah, no.
I'm being more of like, hey, this is what's happening. This is what's gonna happen.
It's not a threat, it's a promise.
You will know when I'm threatening.
Well, you're the boss.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna be nice to it. I'm gonna give it one more shot, and then I'm gonna try to command it to go full speed again.
Okay. Now you gotta go command as in like
Yeah, like I'm going to command it.
Okay, so we're actually going for the discipline. Okay, we're using animalism now.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. He's not gonna be enthusiastic. I'll make him enthusiastic.
You're whipping this thing.
Okay, so what do I do? Oh, I gotta look that up. Derp, sorry. Don't know my own abilities. Command. Manipulation animal can. Difficulty depends on the animal. So I guess whatever you see fit.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be standard difficulty because on one hand, it's more willful than a regular horse, but on the other hand, it is a ghoul that has been trained to follow vampires. So
1.
1 is better than botching.
Yeah,
So...
strong 1. Strong 1.
Okay. You guys see Wea give it another thing, and the horse, you still don't feel, Wea, that it's giving you its all as far as like you want to let this thing rip out and see how well it can do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's now at least keeping pace with the others. It seems to be listening more. You get the idea that you might have to spend a little bit more time with this horse and get it to respect you as its owner, and get a feel for it. Kind of like, and you remember even with non-ghouled horses, it's kind of the same way. Sure, you can have a horse that's been broken in, but if you really want to get the most out of that animal, you're going to have to ride it, spend time with it, really get to know it.
It was more of a testing the merchandise.
I mean, Atris knows what this is about. It's the same thing at
Oh yes.
You gotta write it, spend time with it, get to know it, you know.
Oh god. Oh god.
That's
if you
also
want
part
the
of
best
it.
out of the performance.
Just don't choke it.
Yes. Easy with the Spurs. So I will say, Wea, given your understanding of animals, you definitely do feel the power of you had a horse that you turned into a ghoul, but seeing as this animal was selectively bred, and from what you guys got a little bit from the book that Walter took,
I can't read.
You feel the power. That's why you know that this animal's not giving you 100%. Like, it's keeping pace with the others, and it's not breaking a sweat. It's not affected by the cold. It seems to almost instinctually know where to step so to avoid like dips and things like that. You're getting the idea that you're getting maybe 40% out of this animal.
Damn. Okay.
Avoids the dips. Dip, dip. Then he says nay nay.
So he's just faking it.
Do we need a horse sound effect?
It's acceptable for now.
I'll put it in post.
I can make one now.
All right, so you guys are riding for a bit. Cool night. Go ahead and everyone give me, I'll say an hour goes by, 2 hours. You do start to see the outpost up ahead.
Since we're on the trail, I'd better change my background.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, I think I see Rapunzel and Flynn Rider coming out of there.
Miranda's in the TARDIS.
I'm in the 1983 TARDIS. Thank you very much.
Is that a DeLorean?
It is a time machine, but not that one.
Yeah.
Close, but no.
Well, I meant in the picture.
No DeLoreans here.
It's the console of the TARDIS.
But anyway, you guys are riding for a bit. You do see the outpost coming up ahead.
That's nice.
As you keep riding.
What's it look like? Like, does it look like it's been like well kept? Are the lights on? Is there any candles going? Can I?
You don't see any lights on. However, I will say give me a perception plus alertness, difficulty 7, just because unless you're planning on stopping and actually taking a look, this is all at a glance as you guys are riding by.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same.
We're glancing.
Sure, you can
We're
too,
not-
Walter. Yeah, anyone who wants to, you can make a perception alertness.
You said 7, right?
Diff 7 because of riding.
I got a 1 again.
Okay, 1, 2.
1 success.
Yeah. 1.
Holy shit, hold on. I got quite a few.
Is it more than 1?
4.
4.
Oh, it's definitely more than 1.
Is it more than 3?
Is it bigger than a
5?
bread box?
I'm just
5.
really excited to see things again. It's 5.
Okay. I'll say the ladies notice this more. Gentlemen, as you ride by, it's hard to tell because you're just looking at a glance. From a glance, it doesn't look any worse than how you left it. It doesn't look any more dilapidated or anything. But other than that, it looks the same from what you glance. For the people, for Atris and Adele, as you're looking at it, you do notice that it looks a little bit cleaner than the last time. It looks like, because you're looking around at the snowfall and the level of snow, and you notice it's not on the steps and then the little porch that leads into the front of. You notice that someone has swept the snow off of it. So little details like that tell you that it's at least someone has been here relatively recently and has been taking care of it.
Okay.
Oh, they cleaned up a bit. Nice. That's it.
Okay, so you guys you hit the turn in the road as you start heading towards the mission. Go ahead.
I just start yelling at Adele. Remember when we did the ambush that went to hell over there?
It's fine. We've had worse.
Everyone give me a perception alertness roll, please.
Do you?
Sorry,
I'm
my
looking
ears
for-
cut out. Was it awareness?
1.
Alertness.
Okay.
What's difficulty?
7 again, because again you're on horseback, so
Oh,
No 1.
well, okay. 3.
3, okay.
5.
5, okay.
That is a muted Miranda.
I'm not muted anymore. I was unmuting. I'm just really excited to see things. 4.
4, okay. Atris and Liam, you don't notice anything. You're focused on making sure you're staying on the road and taking care of your horse. Walter, you, as you do not have dark vision, think you hear and then see a little bit of movement out of your periphery, but like to the extent of your periphery, quite a ways off. Wea, you said you got 4 successes?
5.
5, okay. Adele, were you 4? 4, okay.
Is this like does this count as like a check for ambush at all for me? Because that changes me from 3 to 6
Okay.
instantly, actually.
Okay, I will say you'll notice a little bit that I'll say that what you saw, the rest is more of like what you feel and what you're kind of picking up then. Adele, you think you see what looks like a relatively large animal, not necessarily coming at you guys. It seems to be more parallel where it's keeping pace. Where you actually see several of these shapes on either side. Again, none of them are moving to encircle, but more of just keeping, you get the idea, you who understands animals, something's keeping a watchful eye.
Do I recognize what kind of animal it might be?
At 5 successes, kind of looks like Sonoy, only a bit bigger.
Bigger than Sonoy?
Yeah. Walter, I'll say you remember your guys' fun when you were first heading into Taylorsville and you met with the son of the chief. And then again, when Liam thought it'd be a good idea to reach out and touch someone.
I also remember Walter's reaction to that, and well, I was letting y'all finish. I'm not going to shout at them, but
again, I'll say with your ambush thing, it's not really pinning you as an ambush per se, more of a recon with your military background. This is kind of more, it seems more like a reconnaissance kind of thing rather than a offensive.
hey, we're being watched.
Yeah, both sides covered.
Don't know how many there are, but
Enough.
I think we might want to go a little faster for a bit.
Yeah,
Cool,
I
can
think speed is now the option.
I just got my eyes back. Bye. No.
So you guys going to try and go for speed?
Yeah, full speed.
Okay.
For-
I want everyone to make a Dex plus ride. Difficulty 7, unless I would say, who here has more than 3 dots in ride?
No, definitely not me.
I have exactly 3.
What was that, Adele?
She has 3 also.
I have 3 in ride, so
Okay.
we're doing deck ride.
Dex ride. Where do you have, how many do you have in ride?
I have 2.
Oh, okay.
So no one has more than 3 in ride.
I wasn't
Okay.
lying. I'm not.
Does anyone have
spectacular.
at least? Okay, who else has at least 3 in ride? Just. Oh, okay. So for Walter and Adele, it's going to be standard difficulty for you. Everyone else diff 7 just because of the snow and the ice, and you're trying to go at top speed. And everything.
I'm gonna use a little.
No, I still.
Okay.
Normally, I have not needed more than 9 dice, so that's all I've kept out. I need a 10th dice for this because of my celerity.
Either way, all of my dice were between 2 and 5, so I got nothing.
Okay.
I didn't botch. But...
No, you did not.
Standard,
Botch.
right?
Hmm?
Standard.
11
for-
successes.
How many?
11.
Wow.
You are a master.
4
This horse is ice skating.
Oh my god. Hold on. Hold up. Oh, these
Yeah,
are.
I'm down a dice right now too. This shit sucks.
Why?
Nightmares, bro.
Oh.
Some are afraid of the dark, but Waya's afraid of the
9.
terrors that come in the daytime.
Tragic
So-
backstory.
Walter and Adele start peeling off from the rest of the group.
Well,
Um,
Well,
wait,
remember, Atris and Adele were on the same horse.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Technically
So I guess-
speaking, then Adele, you would not be rolling because you're not controlling the horse in any way.
That's not
That
true.
would be my-
Adele reaches
Oh.
around Atris and takes the
I will say
I know,
that you're.
I know.
I
How's
will say
this?
that you're
How's this?
helping Atris as you're whispering in her, like you're kind of giving her a heads up of, "Hey, look out for that. Ease up on this."
Yeah, I am so set on not fucking up my newly acquired vision. I'm just like, we're not doing any.
So
we're
you're
not
backseat horsing at this
I
point.
am.
Don't touch the.
This shit.
If you touch the boobs, just go underneath.
There you go.
I'll go however you want me to.
Oh.
And the fan art writes itself. Winter on horseback.
Lots of horse action.
Yes. We shouldn't do this. Nay, we shouldn't. Wea, you're getting a little bit more from your horse. Again, you feel like you're gonna have to spend some time with it, but you're definitely feeling like you're definitely feeling like you're getting more out of it, but still not full speed, but you're definitely going very fast for something that's not full speed. Liam, for whatever reason, your horse kind of is trying to keep up, but you're going at the same speed you were before. As you guys look behind and you
Kind of a
notice that,
lively trot.
you guys notice that Liam is kind of trailing behind a bit.
I can't tell
Hey.
if he's doing it on purpose or not.
As
Yo, we should
someone
hurry
who
up.
was-
Liam,
as someone
come
who was
on.
slightly bloodbound, said Liam, H is being a little compelled to want to stick around Liam.
Yes, I technically am too.
And so is Walter.
Yeah. Well, that's why I turned around. Well, also Walter just cares about you because he's a good gang mate, but
Say,
that's what I shout at
I
you.
guess.
I'm just trying to figure out which pedal to push. Hold on.
Come
These
on,
things
Ian,
have
you can
pedals,
do it.
right?
Sure, those pedals.
Can I command his horse to go full speed?
You can definitely try to, yeah.
I want to do that.
Okay, go ahead and make your animalism command roll.
Okay. 2.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to command it. What do you tell the horse to do?
I will say, I command you to run as fast as you can and keep up with our group.
And all of a sudden, Liam, you're going from this as you fly.
Oh shit!
The hyperdrive has been activated on your horse.
I found the pedal.
As you all now start moving at a quick, much faster pace. I'll say with the success rolls that you guys got before, you look up as whatever it is that's staying off in the distance just out of your eye line, it keeps up, and then after about a mile starts to slow down. And you get the idea that it's not so much that they're unable to keep up, but they're choosing to not pursue. And then off,
It's like they're backing off a little.
Off in the distance, you hear,
Are there any sort of birds in the sky or any sort of thing flying around in our travel?
Perception alertness.
Wait, what are they shouting?
I will figure that out too. And you said perception alertness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, I just cannot roll well today.
Are you using the dice jail? You're not, are you?
I'm not using the dice. I'm about to right now.
That was your first mistake.
Yeah, these are getting jailed as fuck. It's a botch. Single.
Oh no.
Wow.
What
So I
a
look
lovely
up
night.
and there's nothing.
Woo.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
There
I'm just waiting
weren't
for the day
clouds,
that-
but suddenly they roll in.
I'm waiting for the day that Sean makes me roll for walking, and I'm gonna botch.
Yeah, where you look up and nope, nothing's in the sky. Just
How's the weather? Weather's pretty nice. Pretty good.
yeah.
Very cool. Cool. All sails, all speed ahead, full speed ahead. All sails.
So Walter looks at you and shouts, "What are they shouting?"
Yeah. Can I figure out the where that howl came from in a separate roll, if possible, or am I too
Sure,
busy
sure,
looking
sure.
at the
Yeah,
weather?
you can make a separate roll. Perception alertness difficulty 7.
You ever get that feeling someone's howling about you?
All the time. 3 on that. 3 successes.
You get the idea that it's coming from what would be ahead of you and to the right.
I'll give a clock position, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, depending on wherever.
This would be about 3 o'clock from you guys.
And then 3 o'clock from our current position.
Yeah.
So at least we're being watched.
Did they say anything?
No. It was more of a alert or acknowledgement, but they're backing off.
Yeah, we can probably slow down after another bit.
I wouldn't recommend slowing down. I would say at this point we're noticed. They know we're here. We should get there as soon as we can.
Going for speed then.
All right, so you guys keep riding.
I'm not in control.
Hold on.
Liam, you're just holding on as best you can. And you guys go for another couple miles, another hour and a half goes by. Some of your horses are starting to breathe a little bit harder. You're working them pretty hard, but they're keeping up. Where your horse is normal breath, normal intake, doesn't seem to be winded at all.
I'll praise it and I'll give it a little pat on its neck, and I'll say to it. I won't speak to it through its mind, but I'll just say, "You've been doing well. Keep up the good job."
Okay. Yeah.
Be right back.
As you guys continue to ride, you start to see off in the horizon the San Miguel mission.
I hate that place.
Oh yes, I remember that place. I remember the place very well.
Liam, I thought you love it there. It's where most of your home furnishings come from, right?
Unliving spaces.
No, that was the Shimacy Ranch.
Yes.
Mhm.
You guys
This
do
is where I get all
notice-
my candle holders and doorknobs and
as you guys are coming, you do notice by the old tree that you know is actually the hidden back exit that you guys had followed out. You notice a bit of a cemetery. You see a couple rows of headstones there.
It's fine.
Huh.
I'm curious if that's legitimate or just just a nice counter for the escape route.
Wonder if they buried any werewolves there.
It could be
And
werewolves,
you
could be.
guys approach the mission itself. As you're looking at it, you notice that it actually looks a bit nicer than it did the last time you were there. A little hard to tell with the snowfall and everything on it, but you notice that the outer walls, where before they had what looked like gunshot holes and things like that, and the bricks and mortar, seems to have been given a fresh coat of everything. It seems to be patched up a bit with a little bit more mortar.
Does it seem more secure?
It does actually. It seems to be a little bit more taken care of now that it seems to have where it's not just supposed to be a cover for where before it seemed to be kind of a cover to make people go away and not want to come in. This almost seems more inviting.
Hey, everyone seems to be getting a facelift.
Changes.
And you guys ride up to the large double wooden gates that are the entrance to the courtyard of San Miguel.
Yeah, we don't see anyone yet, right? Just there's gates.
There's gates there which are
Okay.
currently closed.
Okay.
You do see, as a new addition, there is a cord that leads up to a bell that is a small bell that is mounted on the top of to the right of the gate.
I ring that.
Ding, 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 ding.
We doing this, okay?
Nice loud bells.
A couple of moments go by and you hear crunch, crunch, crunch on the snow behind the other side of the door, and a large latch. You hear something moving, and a piece of the gate slides, and you see a face standing there, and it seems to be a woman, not Delphina, but a woman dressed up in what would be nun attire for the time period.
Sorry to
they're
wake
holding
you
up
if
a
I did.
lantern as they're looking. Yes.
Sorry to wake you if we did. We just need a passage. You're here to see some old friends.
Old friends? It's a bit late for visiting friends.
Well, it was a long way here. We ended up having to get here late. I'm sorry about that. Like I said.
One moment. And she closes the shutter, and you hear the footsteps kind of walk away for a bit, and another 5 minutes or so go by.
I hope she didn't pick up that you meant old friends as the people who used to run this place.
I didn't think of that.
Off in the
I
distance, you hear.
Yeah, maybe those weren't the right words.
And then you hear crunch,
You know
crunch,
the right
crunch, as
words?
it now sounds like a couple of feet are.
I swear, if we came all the way out here, did all the stuff that we did before, cleanse this mission of the Inquisition, put La Sombra in place just for the werewolves to have killed everyone and taken over, I'm going to lose my mind.
The door slides open again, and you see what looks like a older gentleman, clean shaven, hair very neatly combed on the sides, silvery gray, as he looks and goes, "Ah, so you have returned. Please, a moment." And you hear large latches and the sliding of wood and chain being moved from behind the door.
Does
As
this
it
gentleman happen to be Octavian?
no,
Okay.
no
Be too
facial.
convenient.
Yeah, no facial hair. Older guy in priest's. I should say no. In monk attire. As he opens it up and goes, "I thought I recognized you. Please come in." And you notice that there's actually a couple of you see the nun there, a couple other nuns, and a couple of monks. As it looks like it took several people to open up the mechanism that allowed the beams that were in the ground to be counterweighted and moved out of place, so that way they could open the doors. As it seems like they've refortified these gates.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I asked about it appearing more secure.
Oh, well, let's not keep them waiting. They got a lot of people up for this, actually. I trot in.
We're going in.
I'll say, anyone give me just a wits roll just to see.
Why is there always a problem with us going into a door? Every time we try and go in a door, there's a problem.
Instead of a courtyard, they have built a gigantic corridor.
What is this?
It's a hallway, in
Our
fact.
mortal enemy.
What is this? Wits and what?
Just wits.
I have
One.
one on this.
1, 2, 0, 4.
Big old donut.
Liam, you actually remember the monk that's currently speaking to you guys as one of the La Sombra that came through with one second.
I just went through all my old notes for those La
With the arch-
Sombra, and I
with the
deleted the
Archbishop and all
name.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so,
have the names actually.
Archbishop Benito de Luca of Clan La Sombra. It's not that's not the gentleman that's up
Delphine.
front of you.
He's
But
one that
he
came with
ca-
them.
Delphina's
He was one of the ones
grandsire.
that came with him as part of his entourage.
Sorry, he's Delphina's grandsire.
And so you recognize him as one of the original La Sombra that have come with you. Apologies, we've had additional help come in, and not all of them were here when you were, so they do not know you by your face.
Oh, it also sounds like you have additional company in the surrounding area.
Yes, they are persistent.
Well, hopefully we can accommodate some issues with that in the very near future.
This would be quite the feat. But
Hmm.
please take your animals into the stable, and we will have you come inside.
Myself?
We'll
Fine.
do so. Yes, we'll corral our horses.
Yeah, we'll all go in and follow.
You go in. There's another good set of, I'd say, about 12 other horses in there, as well as a makeshift chicken coop that has some chickens, some goats. Seems like and a couple pigs. Just because it is winter, they have them all in here, kind of keeping warm. And you see there is a relatively young guy, blondish red hair, beard, long hair kind of tied up in a ponytail, is sitting there, and he's shoveling hay into the different stables. And it seems like they do have a stable hand, and he offers to take your horses for you and look after them.
Like what y'all done with the place. Here's mine. I hand him my reins.
He nods and takes it, and you see him lead it into one of the vacant stables.
And then I head back out.
Yeah, same.
I wait to be last.
Sure.
I hand over my reins. When he reaches for him, I pull him back.
He kind of looks at you curiously.
I just hand it back and I wink at him and I walk away.
Okay. You are led back into San Miguel this time as guests. And again, it looks like in the short time that they've had, they've cleaned up the place as best that they can.
Is the sword still in the fountain?
The sword?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No one ever removed it.
I'm gonna take my hat off and just have my ears out.
Okay.
Just not having to hide anything.
You see a blustering of the place seems quite lively, actually. You see nuns and monks moving about the place. It's not crowded, but it's definitely more people than were in it previously. And
that's where we killed that guy, and that's where we tossed that guy over the wall.
I slept through all of that. There was some good.
You're led into the main church itself, and it looks like all the pews have been sanded, polished. There's actually cushions on the seats now. Fresh candles have been added to everything. Couple of religious tapestries on the walls. It just seems to be where they have really done everything they can to make this seem like an active church.
Yeah, they took better care of this than the Inquisition.
So, and it seems like, yeah, it's been really taken care of, because you get the idea that before, the mission part of it was just a front for the Inquisition base underneath, which is where most of the care and effort went. In this one, it seems like they are putting on a good face.
Now it's a true house of God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least we don't have to fight our way through this time.
Oh, indeed.
You go ahead and make a
It's a trap.
yeah, right. Just as you say that, ha.
I check for traps.
Let's not, please.
Int plus academics.
Oh, let me get my one die out. I have two, actually. Look at that.
Yeah, that's 0.
That's a 1 for me.
I botched.
Standard.
Yes. Liam, you're looking around. You remember your old thing, but God, when did they convert to Hinduism? Like, you're just...
I don't have academics, but I rolled a 9.
Okay.
A single 9.
5.
5. Okay. How many did you get?
Bro.
0. Okay. This is some weird European shit. You don't know. Like,
Freaking colonizers.
yeah.
Yeah.
At least I have experience being in missions.
Yeah. Walter, I'll say with your 1 success, you notice that other than the crucifix on the back wall. A large wooden one about 9 feet tall with Jesus up on there, which is also new, by the way. You notice that the artwork choices are a little bit different than a lot of other missions you've been to. They definitely seem to be depicting religious iconography, but just seems to be a little bit off and different than what you're normally used to. Adele, you actually, I'm sorry, Atris, how many successes did you get?
Just one.
Same thing. You notice it being not what you've seen when you've infiltrated crusaders and stuff like that, or stuff that you guys have liberated from invaders from past centuries and stuff like that. Adele, you who grew up in a very Catholic background, you notice certain scenes on the paintings and the tapestries and the different artwork as you're walking up towards where the altar is. You see the head of St. John the Baptist, and you see the crucifixion of St. Peter. You see one of the big tapestries along the back is, you pick it out to be the temptation of Jesus in the desert. Almost everything seems to be, to someone who didn't know better, they think, oh, they're focusing on the martyrdom of good believers and everything else. There's even a couple of paintings that are focused on the plagues of Egypt and, things like that. To someone who knows, it's the La Sombra basically thumbing their nose at focusing on all the negative aspects, all the death, all the murder, the blood spilling. You guys even look up as you get closer at the face of Jesus on the crucifix. And while normally he's often shown to be either just dead or at peace or looking straight ahead, kind of neutrally at everybody, the anguish on its carved wood, and it's beautifully done. You, Adele, especially with your attention to detail and things like that, it's masterfully done. But to the point of the wood almost looks real, like someone was a master of like the muscle tone, and everything else is very anatomically correct. But it's focusing on Jesus like looking like he's in anguish and suffering up there on the cross. And you'll notice that the only part of it that isn't wood are the nails in his hands and feet, and the crown of thorns is actually made out of metal.
Is it too much to ask for a buddy Christ? Does he speak?
So the monk leads you in. He's like, please, are you just stopping in, or is there a particular reason for your visit?
Oh, as I said, the company your neighbors, as I'll put it, are posing a rather large problem for our kind, and we actually came to speak to Master Octavius about potential solutions in aiding in this problem.
Yes, I understand. He is luckily still here with us. He found the text, and by the way, it's Octavian, not Octavius.
Oh, sorry.
He was just testing if you knew. We know.
And also, is Miss Delphina still here? I would just love to say hello.
I'm afraid not. Delphina had other very important business to attend to and was summoned away.
No worries. I'm sure we'll run into her at some point.
I do like to see it again.
Very well. I believe he is down below in the catacombs. I can fetch him for you unless you wish to go to him.
I really don't want to go down there.
Well, we might need a place to
Mm.
stay over the next day because it's a little late for us to go back later. So we got to go in somewhere. I don't know.
True.
Yeah, I will say that you guys are looking at it's around 4:30 in the morning at this point.
Oh, at least
I
it's
think-
not any Inquisition. That's all we have to remember.
Dawn's in about another hour or so.
We'll go to him.
So it might be best if we go down. Yeah.
Very
We
well.
will,
Do you wish to have this meeting tonight, or do you wish to rest and perhaps meet tomorrow?
oh,
I do not know how long you expect this meeting to take, so
I suppose we don't either. We'll find out, but it might be nice just to say hi.
Yeah, we'll let him know we're
Yeah.
here, and
at the
then
very least.
if it's gonna take a long time, we'll reconvene tomorrow.
very well. Please follow me. As you guys go down a familiar set of actually no, this is actually a little bit different. He sits there and you actually notice one of the things that it seems like they've been doing a good amount of being hermit crabs and kind of making this place their own.
Just imagining carrying missions on their back.
And by the statue of Mary that is off to the corner in one of the alcoves of the church, where it has some candles lit around it and some kneeling places where you can go and pray to Mary in the little alcove.
Pews.
He moves one of the tile pieces aside and you notice a little hole in the wall as he presses his hand to it and you see shadow start to coalesce and
It
go
is a
in.
glorious hole.
No. That's in the back of that's in the other side of the church. As you hear mechanisms getting turned and clicking and the turning of gears as the statue of Mary slides over to
To
one
the left.
side.
Oh, Mary
And
knows
you
how to
see a
move.
spiral staircase leading underneath going down. He grabs an oil lantern and he's like, this way, please. And he proceeds down.
Well, down we go.
You guys go back down. You didn't come this way before. The entrance that you found was the one that was hidden under the statue of St. Michael out in the courtyard. This seems to be another entrance. And as you come down, you notice there's actually artwork on the walls where at the top of it, it seems to be clouds and golden city of such. And you see angelic figures, but they are armed. They have armor and swords, flaming swords and things like that. Their eyes almost have this gold leaflet to it, so they shine as the oil lantern goes down. Their wings, halos, and eyes kind of glowing. The flames of the sword kind of reflecting that light to kind of give it that movement almost. As you go down, you notice that they seem to be fighting these darker winged creatures, and you see a very similar motif, only where it shows it off in the distance of that same statue of, or the pose of Saint Michael with his sword up, with what you can only assume to be Lucifer down underneath his feet, almost being kicked off a cloud. And as the staircase goes down, the tone gets darker and darker, and then reds and things start pouring up as you start noticing flames and what looks like people being tortured and suffering, and it going down to the pits of hell.
In there.
Oh, that's in place.
You guys come out and you remember this cross section of the first level of the underground part. This is the one that peels off into, in one direction, the Mary room, the statue of Mary, that bled from the eyes.
And then they had like the general's quarters and that hidden
well, the general's
passage.
quarters was on the second level.
Oh, how far down are we now?
This is the first, because there's the floor ground level, there's the first level, and there was a second
Okay,
level.
so we're in
that.
basement 1. Okay.
Right. So he leads you through, and this time none of the traps seem to be going off. Every so often you notice that he does something with shadow manipulation to, it seems to be to turn something off or to deactivate something as you guys are going through.
Liam will do the bunny rabbit anytime he can.
Did I space the gems up on the hall?
You
walls?
look up and they are there, but they are now a deep blue, almost midnight blue black color rather than the opal white that they were before.
Like the lighting changes.
It's pretty.
Yes, we are a fan of it also. Thank you. One thing that you do find interesting is that there are no reflective surfaces anywhere. Topside, underneath, there's nothing reflective anywhere. No mirrors, no shiny surfaces.
I mean, Liam has experience with La Sombra personally, so he wouldn't question it.
Yeah, no. Those who know that the La Sombra's weakness, blood curse, is that they cast no reflection. So it makes sense that they aren't advertising that necessarily, especially on the top level where there might be visitors.
I don't what's the guy's name that we're following?
Oh, he hasn't given it yet, and you haven't asked.
Oh, oh, my apologies. Excuse me. It's been so hectic, and I've been rude. I would like to officially introduce myself. I am Liam Christopher Duquesne.
A pleasure, Francisco. Francisco is fine for now. We are friends.
Now, I'm well aware of decorative choices, but if the mirrors are an issue, we actually have a very talented associate who could make use of the raw material if you ever want to just be rid of. If there's somewhere in a storage room.
The mirrors. I'm afraid. Cisco, yes, Don Cisco. I'm afraid they have been disposed of already.
Oh, pity. Usually they're based in silver, so that comes in handy, especially with those.
Oh, we are aware.
Neighbors.
We are aware. The glass was taken away, but the silver has been sent to be melted down and finances some of the wonderful redecoration that you have seen.
We'd be happy to help finance a little of whatever would get us some of that silver too. Walter puffs up and like nudges Liam because he is now performing a business deal.
That would be something we discuss with the Archbishop.
Oh, right.
I am simply your guide tonight. He continues to lead you down, and you notice that when you look up into those, what were the white opals that are now these midnight blue gems, there is, just because they're so well polished, a little bit of a reflect, not much of one. It's dark and muddied and everything else. But as you guys walk by, Well, go ahead and give me a perception plus alertness. Let's see how much detail you guys get out of this. I'm looking for more than 3 successes.
It's becoming more difficult with the cat knocking on me.
Sorry, which ones?
Perception alertness.
Okay. Alertness.
Alertness.
3 successes.
I am very polite.
5.
Okay, 5. That's a 1 winner there. I'm looking for more than 3.
I only
Yeah,
got
Four.
3.
We got 4, but it was 3. That's what I
Hold
was.
on.
Was that a inclusive or exclusive more than 3?
Sorry, 3 does not. I'm looking for 4 and higher.
I got 6.
Okay, so Wea, Liam, and Adele, you know notice this. Atris and Walter are just kind of glancing and looking. Wea, you look up and like watch yourself as you're walking by these things, and you think for a split second you see yourself, but it almost looks like fur all over your entire body, and you see your hand and you see the protean claws for a split second, and then you kind of blink and look again, and it's just again almost like a shadow reflection.
I just like look at it for a second.
Sure, you want to look a little bit closer?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys notice Wea stop. Adele, you see yourself, but even in the very dark shadow, it's almost like kind of like looking at yourself in a mirror, but with all the lights off is the closest thing I can go. You know there's a reflection there, you can see your outline, but oh, you look good, even more so than normal.
I haven't seen myself in a while, okay?
I need you to actually make a willpower.
Fuck.
Gee.
And
But why? That's not my thing.
nope,
Excellent.
but Liam, you are looking at yourself, and
Now, granted, before we came here, because it's still the same night, I did roll my successes for Mask of 1,000 Faces. So I currently look like myself.
yep, but you look in and it's very much almost like a portrait of Dorian Gray kind of situation, where even more so than what the Nos did to you, you see an ugliness underneath, and it just, you see wrinkles and zits, and the reflection, even though you're not, is smiling back with a long toothy grin. And
Current or usual
uh
for willpower?
current. Yeah.
And Liam just thinks to himself, that seems about right.
Aw.
Oh, I'm okay. Yeah. 5.
Okay.
Ooh, if I reach in my pocket, do I pull out the Sorcerer's Stone?
Yeah, totally. But I'll say, Adele, yours is one of those ones where while it doesn't keep you entranced, there's almost a artificial look to it. This whole thing of almost being too perfect, almost like marble, where you don't notice any of the life. You just notice the features, like a piece of artwork. And your mind kind of goes back to a second to what that nightmare that the Jinn gave you of your sire trying to turn you into a piece of unliving art. Wea, you're looking closer at this. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a investigation plus awareness. Sorry, no. That's 2 things from the same. This is going to be a perception plus investigation. Perceptigate.
Five.
you're looking at this and you're staring, and again, kind of like I explained before, it's a lot like looking at your reflection with all the lights off and there just being like a little bit of light off in the corner, where because this is a dark stone, it's not showing it the way just a normal reflective mirror would. You're mostly getting the outline and little bits of detail, but it looks not quite lupine, but it's definitely your proportions, but you see thick fur going up and down your arms and over the side of your face, and it's just, and you see the claws for a second, and the eye, you almost swear that you see a little red glow of the eyes staring back at you, almost kind of like an animal whose eyes have been caught by light and are reflecting it back a little bit.
I'll just kind of like do an up and down and look at it real quick. Just examine it. Does it look like it's like looking at me, or is it just like a reflection? Like if I move my arms, is it moving, or is it? Like,
it's moving it
still
in
moving?
time with you, but you swear that there's one or two. It's kind of like that self-hypnotism thing. If you've ever tried staring at a mirror for a really long time and you swear that your reflection blinks a little bit slower than you do, or that the eyes move in a way that you didn't think. It's that weird cusp of you're not sure if it's something mocking you and just keeping in time with the mirror game, or if it's actually just a mirror and it's moving with you. It's that little seed of doubt of like, okay, is this thing really looking back at me, or is it just my head playing games?
Okay.
Your guide is looking at you and he goes, pay no mind to those. They are dark reflections of the self.
Mine seems about right.
They are there for us to know who's visiting, but they have many uses if ever needed be.
And I'll catch up.
Okay.
Oh.
You guys go for a little bit longer. It's much quicker going through this time, as from the last time you guys went through. Eventually, you're led down the second set of stairs. You okay there?
Step my toe.
Oh, I am sorry. We keep things dark down here. Mind the stairs.
Dropped something at the exact same time, so I didn't know if you're talking to me, asking if I was okay.
Yeah, no,
Did you drop it on his toe?
Right?
No,
it would work out
Which is weird
because on my screen she's below me.
Yeah,
mine, I'm above you.
So it works on you, yeah, and it doesn't work for because Daniel's above you, Miranda. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't work for me.
You guys see every so often there are little oil lantern, little torch lights. Again, very small flames, but controlled and just enough to provide just enough light for people to be able to move through.
As we're heading down, do we encounter that chamber with the Virgin Mary and like the fountain? Is that there?
I'll say you guys do pass through that room and you notice that the statue has a large blanket that has been thrown over it.
Ooh, so they couldn't even remove it.
Why?
If you guys are
renovations.
kind of looking at it, he'll kind of glance back and notice you guys noticing and goes, we're still trying to figure this one out.
That one ain't too pleasant.
No, not so much. Walter, you do have a little bit of a unpleasant moment as you don't go in, but you walk through what is the path that would lead up to the mead hall kind of thing, which you know is the kitchen back behind that.
My character goes quiet.
Okay. You guys are finally led down to the second corridor, and you see that they still, eventually you're led through where the path of the skeleton hallway is, with all the catacomb bones and set up in a very artistic manner. They're still there.
Don't stick your finger in any holes, Liam.
We are actually sending for a specialist for this to see if the spell can be reworked to our favor.
Well,
Right now, we have
everyone
simply neutralized the spell as he knocks on one of the skulls and nothing happens. You all kind of like instinctively flench for a second, remembering.
there needs to be a lock on this door.
They are inert for right now, but we are looking to see if any lingering souls could perhaps be used to our advantage. But we are having to send for a specialist back from the home country.
Yeah, well.
And you guys are aware that, at least of the rumors of Clan Giovanni that predominantly operates out of Italy, of lauding themselves as necromantic specialists. And they are one of the independent clans that normally serve their own self-interest, but usually can be hired for a price, and depending on what the job is.
Does my character think that? Never mind. Actually, never mind. Walter's in his own head. Never mind.
Eventually, you guys are led to the library, the makeshift library that was in there. What used to be Henry's office. You see that it's been the door has been fortified a little bit more. It seems like they respect the value of knowledge. And you go back in, as there's the makeshift wood floor with the wood bookcases that go the whole length of the room. And there in the center desk that has been used for study, you see Octavian there with a couple different oil lanterns and about 5 or 6 books, all just open to various pages. And he's sitting there on his personal big leather-bound book, opening up and with ink and quill, looking, muttering to himself and inscribing things into his book.
Wow, you're a sight for sore eyes.
He looks up and he goes, my friends, come in, come in.
We walk in.
My camera is censoring my hand, but Walter's trying. There we go. Trying to gesture after you.
Mm.
You guys all file in, and
Liam kind of stops like right before the doorway and just looks before he walks in, because this place.
Walter shoves him in.
it looks, again, like a lot of this, it looks like it's been cleaned up a little bit. You actually notice that there is one bookcase off to the side that has a chain with a big lock on it. And if you look very closely, you actually see etchings in the chain itself.
Can you lock books?
If one knows how they do not wish it to be seen. But what is the nature of this visit? I understood you had other tasks that Mr. McBride was talking to you.
Well, we did do him a favor recently. Apparently one of our employer's rivals needed some dealings with, and we took care of that.
Yes.
But one of our other contracted obligation regards the mine near Taylorsville. We seem to have acquired some allies within the mine, but a caveat has been set. They want the Lupines taken care of before they're willing to revolt and assist us with that matter. So our time clock has been moved up with those fun little furry creatures.
This is a big problem.
Oh.
Turns out that the Lupines were on our schedule anyway, so it's a matter of shuffling our priorities.
Then
But
it
that's
is
why
to
we came
be-
here.
So it is to be Asmodeus who is helping you out.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
We were told
So
to
we've
expect
heard.
them.
He's eccentric but efficient.
Now, when you say eccentric, I heard that my first contact, Becca, ain't allowed to go out with him on any more missions. Is he, when he's out, is he like her?
Rebecca is more of a primal creature. Deviant is best name I can think of for Asmodeus. He finds ways to enjoy himself in every situation, and usually he is enjoying himself most when the body count is highest.
Well, we have a rather
Ah.
large amount of lupine that need taking care of. I'm sure he's going to enjoy himself thoroughly.
Also, he favors both the boys and the girls and is not subtle in his flirtations.
Well, I hope you don't float with any of the werewolves, because them's who we got to turn into bodies.
It is danger that he flirts with most, but
Walter just looks confused.
Well, the reason that we have sought you out is that our knowledge is a bit limited when it comes to the lupine, though we do have a few items that are giving us some sort of tactical advantage. We have, thankfully, our gracious employer did provide those plans for the Gatling gun, and we are having quite a bit of silver bullets made for it, as well as a few surprises. But we are aware that they are powerful and that they outnumber us a great deal.
Well, my friends, what is it you wish to know?
Well, I mean, it would help if we can get a few more individuals to help us. If there's any help that we could seek out to help fight the Lupine with us.
Also, knowledge of any way to fight them, successful ways that have happened in the past, things that can help us, get the leg up.
We might end up with, we're going to try not to, but we might end up fighting dozens of these things in one place. And if something like that were to happen, we want to know what to avoid besides, getting in that situation to begin with, because we might not have a choice.
Aid in helping fight them might be harder to come by. Knowledge I can help you on. Well, you know of their allergy to silver. It seems to be the one thing that can permanently damage them, as they have a healing factor that rivals our own. A young Lupine is a match for even an elder of our clan, to a certain extent.
That's I just feel like I could take a youngin. I don't get it. I
There
don't
are
get it.
many like you who have thought so and tried. You should ask Mr. McBride how he got his scar.
He did specify Lupine.
I should have asked him that.
One big mistake. Unlike our kind, lupines are not created, they are born. It is a gene that is passed on from parent to child. all the speak of the bite of the werewolf creating more is simply myth.
So if they wanted to create more in preparation to this, they can't just do
Oh,
that.
they'd have to
Okay,
do it
so-
the old-fashioned way.
It would
So
take
then we
a good
sterilize the clan,
15
and then in a
years.
few generations we're done.
There
Oh,
are
well.
many tribes of them throughout the world, all with different sets of thinking and abilities. They too have their magics as we do. Now, I have read much about the Lupines. I have even read accounts firsthand from them. They refer to themselves as the Guru. They believe themselves to be protectors of the natural world against the inklings of corruption. They believe that they serve a ancient deity known as Gaia, the Earth Mother.
Hmm.
And they believe that their efforts are helping to subvert the corruption and fall of the entire world in some apocalyptic ending.
Yeah, how presumptuous of them.
I don't want to end the world. I like living in it. Just want to play.
Yes, there are many rumors about why their kind and I are not the biggest of fans. From what I understand, one of the main reasons is that they feel our very existence is a, how does one say, spitting in the face of the natural order. There is living and there is dead, and then there is us. And we are interrupting the natural flow of things in their mindset.
They hate us because they don't understand us.
Indeed.
That's about right. They hate us
If
because they
I
hate
could
us.
ask, I don't know if you know, but you said they're heal like us. My healing can run out. Can their healing run out?
Special abilities make them heal even faster, but their natural existence as if they are still alive, they can still heal, other than wounds created by silver.
So their biggest weakness after maybe before silver, after silver, is being dead.
Correct.
Got it.
Now you must be careful. Some of them have learned to. There's a form of movement. I'm not entirely certain of it, but they seem to. There are notes that they can travel through a different plane of existence and show up in a completely different location. They
I've seen
need
them do that. I've seen that.
well-trained ones need not traverse the mortal realm in order to get from point A to point B.
Could they could they travel like a bunch of miles like that?
If I understand correctly, that is true. It is the closest I can understand is imagine the speed in which some of our kind can astral project themselves, for they themselves are entering a spirit world of sorts. So how many you see in front of you might not be how many are around waiting to spring.
Right, more illusions.
They also have several different forms, as the lupine gene can pass from a creature that originated as a wolf or a creature that originated as a human, as lupines can turn from one to the other. So some are born a wolf and learn to turn to a man, while some were men that learned to turn into wolves.
Oh,
I had
That is-
no idea about that.
that is intriguing.
That- So we
Never
could
put it-
run into a person that was raised by wolves, actually.
Correct. As a matter of fact, it is very common in
that-
their circles.
ooh, So
Yeah.
you could potentially have a person who has no human intelligence whatsoever until they become a man. That's Oh, that's oh, that's hilarious.
A
Liam
weird
just covers Walter's
abomination.
ears.
As I understand it, they have 5 different physical forms in which they can take.
5.
5.
Pupa, larva.
But
One
it's a
is their
dude and a wolf, right?
One is their complete wolf form. It will look like any other type of wolf. Now, I have heard that depending on the region of the lupine, it can be different forms of canine. I've read one such text of lupines in Egypt who took on the form of jackals. Might be where we get some of our gods in that region. Those that weren't us, that is.
Are there were-coyotes?
There's a dingo.
The second form is a large dire wolf. This would be a wolf about the size of a horse.
Oh, we've seen those.
Yes.
We've seen the ones that walk around all willy-nilly.
Yeah,
Now, the form that has been the most
elusive.
well known, I should say, in myth and legend, is their in between from their full combat form, where they are bestial bipedal creatures with the claws, the full form of what we know of when we think of lupines or werewolves. Their fourth form is between that and the human, where they seem human, but more barbaric, more musculature, and almost primitive in nature, like early man. Lastly, there is their human form.
When they're walking around like a person, do they have all their strength? Or do
No.
they have their powers or whatever?
They might have certain powers, but their greatest strength physically comes from when they are in their full werewolf form.
So we're back to just silver.
Now,
well, hold on.
there is also.
What if we could get at them when they're not in that form? If we could have a fight when they're not like that, that'd be a tactical advantage.
It would be. Now, from what I understand, certain different groups of these creatures gain power from different phases of the moon. The most famous being the full moon, but there are many that gain strength from the new moon, the waxing moon. There are many different forms. Now, young ones newly come into their ability to transform can only do so at the right phase of the moon for their particular group. Ones that are better trained can transform at will any time of the day or night. They simply gain additional power during certain phases of the moon. So, advantageous to you, it might be beneficial to do some reconnaissance and see if you can figure out, or maybe some advanced interrogation of when their phase of moon is, so that way you can avoid any kind of confrontation during that time of month.
Can my character remember what phase of the moon it is right now?
Right now?
Well, since we just rode at night.
Sure, I will say it is a half moon.
There's a whole lot of them that kind of followed us a ways on our way down earlier.
Remember, they can transform at any time
here.
once they are trained well enough. They simply gain additional power during certain phases of the moon.
I don't know if maybe there's some youngins or not. There's just a lot of them.
Well,
What I hear.
now, another thing is that you want to be careful about any, as animals are skittish around us unless we have the ability to calm them as they sense our uh, power and ability.
Oh, we've had our horses get plenty spooked when we're near them.
Mortals and animals go into the closest thing I can say is it is like frenzy for us around these creatures. It is a innate fear of such an apex predator being around them. You would want to make sure that if your plan involves any ghouls or beasts of burden or horses, that they are far away from these creatures.
Oh. Huh.
To the point of certain humans, when they see them, will go into such a frenzy and forget that they were even there. It's how these creatures have been sliding into simply myth rather than fact for so long.
That doesn't happen to us, though.
No. We are the higher base. The last bit of advice I can give is one of their strengths is also one of their weaknesses. While they do not need to create their children in the same way that we do, they do have families. They do have mortals in which they align themselves. As I understand it, there are sometimes offspring, whether they be wolf or human, that do not carry the gene, but still are allowed to be among them. If I understand correctly, they are with a group of natives. If you apply pressure there, it might be an Achilles heel.
We're gonna teach them to heal? Like a dog?
I keep forgetting I must use smaller words.
The word is small, he just doesn't know its meaning. No, it means their weakness, Walter.
Whether you yourself attack or, well, I'm sure he looks kind of cautiously over at Wea. The cavalry is always looking for a reason to rehome certain individuals.
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
He says that the cavalry is always looking for a reason to rehome certain individuals.
Walter goes fucking wide-eyed and looks over at Wea when he says that to him.
Yeah, it was bad. Pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah, I think he's suggesting that we could encourage them to do that to them.
If they're fighting a battle on multiple fronts, suddenly you have more of an advantage. As I said, you do not want these creatures organized, because in a straight out conflict, you will lose.
And that actually brings me to something else I wanted to ask you. Is we had these like parchments that, or these tools that allowed us to communicate with other of our kind at longer distances. Would you happen to have any of those or be able to make those? I wanted to send a letter to my sire. And
They are something I do not have on my person, but I can create.
I was going to send one to my sire, him being native. Maybe he can help us in some way with this from a different perspective. Maybe he can send people to help us. I don't know.
Well, they do take time to craft. If you're willing to spend the day here and a bit of the night tomorrow, I can craft. How many do you need?
How many do we need? I'm gonna just say 3. Leia's gonna say 3.
It's just good to have a couple extra on hand.
3. All right, I can craft them in the interest of our employer and the mutual benefit of the mission. I just require one small favor in return.
And
Not
that
telling
is.
my sire why we're doing this, I'd take it would be the one thing.
That is already part of your contract.
But of course.
I'm interested to see how you react to the room that we have now been inspecting a bit. I need new test subjects.
You mean that room?
The Hellgate.
The Hellgate room.
Walter like points to the ground. Yeah.
He smiles and takes off his monocle and kind of cleans it a little bit. And
This is payment for the messages.
in full.
I wasn't even in there very long. I'll go.
Whoever has the most ability to stop themselves should go. Last time, it was difficult to will myself to do anything.
All of you need not go. I only need at least one. But
I have willpower.
if more of you wish to go, you may.
I volunteer Liam. He loves doing this
we
stuff.
volunteer him as tribute.
Well,
There's-
I'll go as well. I had a little more fortitude in my word powder.
I will
need some more
say
fortitude in my fortitude.
everyone who is blood bound to Liam,
Nope.
make a self-control roll.
Does Nature still have to if she's willingly going?
No, you're willingly choosing to.
I slash open my wrist and pour out specifically the Liam detail.
Yes.
I accept Liam as tribute.
I got 3 successes.
Okay.
Oh, that's not a 1. Oh, but that one is. I have 2 successes though.
Okay. You guys will want to stay maybe just outside of the room because, hey, Liam's your buddy. Like, you don't want anything to happen to him, but you're at least able to control yourself enough that you don't feel the need to go into the room to protect him.
If I
Okay,
go in the
fine.
room, I'd be more liable to hurt someone.
All right. So, Atris and Liam, you're going into the Hellgate room, correct?
Oh, yes, we are.
Is it time?
All right. So you all are led. He goes, ah, it's good. All right. Let's go. He leads you down. You go through the cell, which you notice that the cell
Yeah.
doors have been fixed.
They're empty?
Yep. Well, define empty.
There's nothing in them except
not
walls and
occupied.
floor?
The first level one, you actually do see people locked up in the cells.
Are they dressed in anything religious looking?
Nope.
Okay.
A lot of them just look like different folks. Some of them look up as you guys come in. Some pull away from the bars even further as far as they can get against the wall. Some look a little bit more emaciated than others. You get the idea they've been here for a little bit longer, especially given the smell.
See, y'all have some of your own law to enforce down here.
We like to keep our pantries full, or at least the Lysandra do.
Oh, naturally.
Remember, I am simply a guest here too, as part of the deal to our employer. This property belongs to them. I am simply allowed here as a guest to do my research as per our mutual agreement.
I misspoke. Walter just kind of shrugs and keeps walking.
As you go into the second set of cells that were used for where you guys found Henry and Geneva and all
I'm
of
looking
them.
at these.
These are empty. However, they have been fixed. They are not, none of them are broken. The one that the Lupine had bust out of, there is now a replacement metal door there. As a matter of fact, you notice that there's no longer bars there, that they've actually replaced them with solid metal door, like prison doors.
Oh, for all of the cells?
For all the special ones. But you do notice engravings in there.
Walter narrows his eyes and pokes one of them.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Give me a...
Always poking something.
I mean, if it's not me, it's him.
Can't take you two anywhere.
Go ahead and give me a willpower roll.
David is currently functioning as a cat bath.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Aw.
Kitty.
It's a good job.
There's another roll. Is 5 okay?
5 is fine. Nothing happens.
Walter just kind of goes, huh, and just shrugs. Do I feel anything that may have tried to happen to me? Do I
Give
feel
me a
pulled?
perception plus awareness roll.
Okay, I'll do that. It is 2.
You definitely felt a little tingle.
Something a
All
little
you
different
need.
about this one, huh?
It's kind of like you feel a little bit of almost like there's definitely something there, but you get the idea that it's more to keep something in rather than trying to keep something out. So probably it's not meant to be super powerful on this side of the door.
Walter looks to Wea and just kind of shrugs and just keeps walking.
Okay.
I had to know. Gotta know.
Definitely a lot more quiet now that you don't have the knife banging on the
Yeah.
bars or Geneva talking incessantly in there.
Sticking your shit fingers in your mouth.
Leads you down to the secret passage, and you actually see that they've allowed me to have my own key for this. And you actually see him muttering something as some of the glyphs start to light up on the door, and it opens, and you guys are back in the underground river and waterfalls.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is fine.
You
Yeah,
hear what sounds like hammering, sawing, carpentry work as you guys walk around the river, and you notice those old stone bridges that had collapsed down and you guys had to jump over. You actually see on each one, as you look down the tunnel, about 15 or so people working on each one, as they have makeshift scaffolding across, as it seems they are trying to repair these bridges for easier access. And they are actually where before you had to kind of carefully walk along the wall up above. Now they've built some scaffolding where there's still no railing or anything because hey, it's the 1800s and what are safety codes? But it's an OSHA nightmare in this place. But
I think I had already looked it up. OSHA wasn't around yet.
exactly, that's the joke. But you see the scaffolding where there's at least now a wider footpath where people can easily, you see people hauling cut pieces of lumber and nailing and hammering, and it seems like a lot of work is being done.
I'll look over at Octavian and be like, oh, no more surfing?
It is best if I need not go through all of my abilities, if not need be. There is a limit to what even I can do.
He can walk on waves.
So you guys walk through. The workers seem to make way for you guys. It seems like they all definitely recognize Octavian, and if he's walking with you guys, you kind of get that feeling of this is above my pay grade, so they're not asking questions or anything.
Liam just casually giggles to himself, remembering what we did to poor guard Steve.
4 days from retirement. You guys make it, and you see the archway, the stone archway that leads into the Hellgate cavern.
Oh, here we are again.
And once again, you notice that the stone gate has been reinforced by metal doors that are now on it. Where it was just an open archway, now has metal doors with different runes and things carved into it that is very much a new addition for reinforcement.
This looks a little safer. Maybe. Is it safer? Are you
As
sending
for-
us in here because it's safer?
That is what I am testing.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh,
I'd
Pat
assume
will
one
give
of
on the back.
I got exposed to everything else in this hell place. Why not this too?
It just looks at Octavian. Right? I assume we just supposed to walk in, or how shall we proceed?
I am going to walk in with you, so that way if there is a problem, I can take you out.
He's gonna
Very well.
take them out.
Oh, well then he's fine. We can leave.
He bites his thumb, and there seems to be where the runes are, they're kind of swirling into a central spot, and he presses it on, and you see him will, as he's muttering to himself in some language that none of you speak, and you actually see his blood start to pour from the wound as you see Vitae. And you've seen him do this once before. That's how he collected blood from each of you for the contract of he's actually able to sit there and kind of like force manipulate the blood. And the runes start glowing red outwardly from the door and you hear large gears and things, what sounds like turning, grinding, unlocking. And there's a little bit of when the door cracks open, there's a little bit of a warm wind that kind of comes back and rustles all your hair as it opens. Consider this second to last line of defense in case gateway is ever breached.
All right.
It's a nice
And-
line.
The doors open up, and he goes, please, and he walks in. You notice that when the doors open, I'll say you guys kind of look around. The workers that were on the bridge that's closest, like across from where this gateway is they all stop what they're doing and are looking very intently and somewhat nervously at the gate.
Furry, we're professionals.
And just because Liam wants to kind of like just poke at it, he's gonna look at
No.
Adele as he's walking in. Adele, don't let me go. Adele.
You did this to yourself. You're fine.
Basically going to try and entice for blood binding.
Adele, give me a perception plus empathy.
Do I have to do a performance check?
I get to roll 9 dice for this.
But I have to itch somewhere.
So no, I don't have to roll a performance.
You know what? I'll say against your charisma performance. We'll see who.
Oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetie, no. Yeah, I'm good. Certain of
You
that.
say that.
I got 6 successes.
Hold on.
Do you think Liam is a basic bitch backwater performer?
Yeah, but I'm used to
He's
his
some
bullshit.
of those things.
I'm used to his bullshit, so
He's some of those words.
Okay, so 10, 6, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, 1.
So
6.
you both got 6.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. I'll say at that, Adele, you're able to pick up that he's just being Liam and deciding to be an ass. And so your blood
Wait.
is not.
It's a conscious choice? He
Yes.
turns it on and off?
Yes.
I
And
thought it was a round
so
the clock
he is.
thing.
He is not in actual peril, and thus you do not feel compelled to rescue him yet.
I will mourn your undeath again. Have fun.
That genuinely
Bye.
makes Liam laugh as he walks in.
Then as they go in, Octavian turns and looks to the remaining 4 of you and goes, I am now going to close the door so that way, in case worse happens, nothing gets through. Do not try to open the door.
Even if everything looks real bad?
Especially if things look very bad.
Oh, I don't know what I'm walking into.
Right.
As he mutters something in that language that none of you understand again, and the doors glow again with that red glow, seeming to almost recognize his blood in them, and start to clack, 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 as you hear it. You guys see on the back, Liam and Atris, you see on the back end these giant gears and locks as these locks go into place in the ceiling, floor, and sides of this thing. And you see it having a mild glow on the runes. Where you get that it is both a physical barrier and also something of a blood magic barrier as well that he's created. Now I forget, Liam and Atris, were you ever inside this place before?
Atris was, yes.
Atris, yeah.
No, we actually were all in there. I was just only in
Okay.
there very briefly.
So you remember that a lot of it looks similar in the sense that there were these large columns that were holding up this place. as well as stalagmites and stalactites. You guys on the outside of the door are standing outside the gate by where like the waterfall cut. What you can, it's kind of hard to hear because there's the loud rushing of the waterfall as this kind of peers off this underground river. Inside the door, Liam and Atris, you see these pillars that were these massive pillars. We're talking a good 5-6 feet across, diameter wise.
I've seen
and
bigger. I've seen bigger.
That seem like, as you look at them, were knocked over by something, almost like a blowback force or something from these things. The ceiling's still holding. You see the stalagmites and stalactites around here. You see that central metal basin with the torches on either side that's right in front of the doors. You also see the carved demonic faces that are all about eye level, about 5.5 feet up off the ground, that are all around the perimeter of this place. Currently, they seem to be with the eyes and mouth closed, almost like seeming like at rest, so to speak. In the far back corner of this little pocket cavern, you do see the giant stone hand with its fingers extended that has the pool of water in the basin in the center of it. Again, it seems like something that is not broken, but more like buried in the hand part. Is the hand, wrist, and forearm is the only part that's actually kind of sticking out of it. It looks like there's more to it, but buried under the ground. You notice a little bit more of the arm than before, so you get the idea that maybe they tried excavating a little bit of it. And then you see them, you look again, you see the giant 20-foot tall bronze and obsidian doors, all seeming to have motifs of them of just dozens and dozens of people piled on top of each other, all just like almost like trying to push out and reach out, like they're screaming and trying to push past the barrier. However, you do not see the molten magma that was pouring down. It is all just volcanic rock on either side. And the two large demonic stone figures that were holding the braziers on either side of the door, the fire in the braziers is currently not lit. We were able to find the spell that must be performed once a month to keep this quiet. I was able to convert it to our type of magics. They do need a more permanent blood sorcerer who can stay here full time, as I am employed with I have business with our employer and cannot stay here once my research is done. But we are currently sending for a good candidate to come and live here for a time.
Oh, happy to hear that you're able to cover the Hellgate at least.
As long as it's not me.
From what I understand, your abilities with blood sorcery are not quite what we would need. As in, they are non-existent. But all I need you to do is...
Just because I can't see your face holder doesn't mean I don't hear your snort.
walk around the room and tell me if you hear anything or feel anything.
Oh. Atris, after a moment of hesitation, will comply because he remembers.
Well, Liam wants to go get a look at the hand. He never got to look at that before.
Okay. So you're going to go look at the hand. Atris, where are you going in this room?
Well, she's going to do like a start a circle path, like wherever, like she's the edges, that she's going to like start on the right and just kind of walk around.
Okay, so kind of like following the thing of heads. The little demonic head thing. They're spaced about, each one is about 5 feet from the next one.
Sure, yeah. So just like walk circular, just kind of cover the area.
Okay. Give me a perception plus awareness roll, both of you.
Level. Oh, and we got 1, 2 successes.
1 success. Okay. You definitely feel something. It is not as intense as what you guys felt before, but there is that primal sense of there's something very dark, very evil, very old. The best the best I can describe it is that when you guys were in here before, it felt like a powder keg. It was on the verge of exploding. Those feelings of dread that even your beast was like, nah, fuck that. Now your beast feels uncomfortable being down here. It doesn't. You find yourself fidgeting a little bit more. You feel yourself being on edge and looking over your shoulder, and definitely not being comfortable here. But not that sense of immediate dread that reaches down to your core on a primal level.
Atris will turn to Octavian. Go ahead, sorry.
Atris, I need you to give me a current willpower roll, and Liam do the same thing. Atris, for you, I'm actually going to say it's going to be difficulty 7. For Liam, it's standard difficulty.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4 successes.
Atris, did you happen to bring that box with you?
I don't believe she did. I didn't make a mention of it.
Okay, so you left the box back at the homestead.
Back at the homestead, yeah.
Okay. With 3 successes, you walk by the heads. 4. Oh, yeah, 4 for Liam. Okay. And Atris, you got how many successes?
I believe it was 4 successes.
Oh, 4 also. Okay.
Yeah.
You walk by and you think it's almost like you feel like you heard something whisper just out of earshot of that whole, but it's not, you don't feel any pull, you don't feel any impact on you. You're noticing it. It's very much it's kind of like, have you ever known that like crickets can throw their chirps to sound like they're on different sides of the room?
Mm-hmm.
Assholes.
It's kind of like that with these heads of, you walk by and it's almost like as you get like 15 feet away from one, you hear from behind you. And as you turn and look around, suddenly it's 20 feet in another direction and in another corner, and you hear.
It sounds like sarsaparilla.
Oh, definitely compared to last time, the feelings are not as intense. The most I get is I hear a little bit of whisper, but I can't make out what it's saying, and I do feel uncomfortable. But compared to last time, it's definitely more manageable being in here than it was the last time.
Well, Octavian was, that's good. Yeah. Okay. And he starts he has a little pocket journal with him, and he starts making some notes with the pencil. Liam, you approach this hand, and there's definitely writing on it. It would look like in person, almost like henna. But you notice it's words, just a language you don't speak, you haven't come across it. It's very foreign to you, but you can at least tell that it's more than glyphs. It's definitely a language of some kind that's sprawled across this thing. Do you decide to do? How close are you going to get to? Are you going to climb? Because you can't quite see into the pool from where it is.
I'll have my little mermaid moment. I'll sit in there.
So you get up and you got 4 successes on your willpower roll. You definitely feel it feels muted. It does not feel strong. You feel like something's trying to make a connection as you approach the pool. But you have the strength where if you so choose, you can choose not to let it in.
I'm gonna let it in.
Of course.
This is my surprised face. It's the same.
You approach the pool and you look down and you see yourself at first. And then it starts to ripple a little bit, almost like a wind from nowhere is blowing across it. And you think you see the reflection start to like smile back at you. Well, it took you long enough to get, and you hear your own voice speaking to you. Certainly took you long enough to get here.
I was busy.
Well, you're here now, and I assume that's good enough. As I can hear Walter and Wea snickering in the background.
I was also shaking my head, but you couldn't see that. In a sec.
Now the question is, now that you're here, what are you going to do about it? What do you
I think it's what are we gonna do about it?
Semantics. But the question is, what do we want?
I mean, isn't the answer always the same? Power.
And as soon as you say that, the reflection, like as soon as you say the word power, the reflection ripples a little bit. And you see yourself sitting on a throne of sorts made of marble and with cushions on it. You've seen this, I'll say once before on a business trip with your sire, you've seen this. It is actually Elysium, aka the throne room of Prince Mithras, the Prince of London. And you're sitting on his throne. And it looks like you're holding court in the London. And you know, I'll say because you met him, he is definitely a Ventru. And as far as anyone knows, one of the oldest Ventru, like he is a Methuselah, like has been around since Rome was in its heyday. And you say power, and suddenly you see that image ripple across the water. Well, power is always nice. Of course, there's always knowledge too. And you see it ripple again, and you see actually you and the rest of the Spurs actually, and you see bodies and bodies of Lupine around you, dead. Or, well, there's always this old favorite. And suddenly you hit, your reflection shimmers and you see the reflection of your mother. And you hear her voice. Mijo, come to me. It's all right. The laughter has stopped. It shimmers once again and you actually see your old companion. And she is standing there smiling. It's Fine. It got sent away. You did it. And the image shimmers again, and it's back to your face looking back at you, and it's like, well, what is it you want?
You know what's always weird about looking at myself?
How aroused do you get?
Oh, that's regardless. It's just mostly knowing that I'm a liar.
Would a face like this lie to you?
And I just drop my mask of 1,000 faces. Yes, it would. And I leave the hand.
Okay. Since you succeed the willpower roll, you feel no compelling to talk with it further. And you walk away. Atris, you did not hear anything coming from the well.
Mhm.
And Liam just seemed to be standing there for a while, not saying or doing anything.
You okay over there?
I'm fine. It offered me what it thought I wanted, and part of it was, but knowing myself, I'm a lying son of a bitch.
Tagline.
You do that well.
Octavian looking
Although,
at you.
am I close enough for Atris to see my face?
Yeah.
Oh, did you decide that you didn't? I mean, granted, I know you don't care, but you know, back to regular face.
I needed to change my reflection a bit.
Who is that ghoul I see staring straight back at me?
Right.
Octavian looks at you. So what did you hear?
Empty promises.
And it seems you were able to resist them.
I was able to resist it before. I simply wanted to hear what it had to say.
Then it seems the enchantments are holding. And you see him wave his hand and mutter something. And you guys look, as you didn't really notice this before, carved in very big into the sides of different parts of the wall. You see large runes that are glowing red, similar to how the door is. And you get the idea that, so he goes, besides the ritual, I decided to add a little bit of protection to not make the voices as loud.
Well, it's certainly doing its job.
And my
Been busy and
apologies.
effective.
But my apologies for my appearance, Octavian. This was a unfortunate side effect from our employer's most recent request of us.
I have seen worse. I'm Russian. Not on holiday.
Well, is that all you needed from us?
This is good. I can have the scrolls your friend requested ready by midnight tomorrow. You're welcome to stay here, though, although I am sure our hosts will not mind. Part of the agreement of them being given this place is that any who serve our employer are given protection and free passage.
It's very much appreciated, although the memory of this place is still very fresh in our minds. I just had to deal with one restless night.
As I understood it, you had to deal with many restless nights.
All of them, in fact.
Yeah, days.
He mutters something, and the glyphs on the wall fade. You get they're still there, just they're purposely meant to be hidden somewhat. And he reaches out to the door, and the glowing stops, and you see the mechanisms turning again. You guys hear it on the other side as the door opens up, and you're able to walk back out.
That was a fun adventure.
Oh, I solved my soul again.
Oh yes, all the what soul do you have?
Exactly. I had no
Poor
trade-in value.
Rube.
But no, it's fine. We seem to have passed Octavian's test.
Yes, we're all right.
More that my work has passed my own test, and you proved that to me. So my gratitude.
But I really would help.
Well, let us get out of here, and he leads you back out, past the workers and everything else, back up to the first subterranean floor, and you find that the barracks that were here have been converted into multiple rooms where they've actually put up walls and things like that. And now in each room, there's usually, it looks like there's about 4 beds to each room. But you get the idea that this being underground and everything else is a perfect place for vampires to spend the night. As you're getting ready, one of the nuns walks up. Pardon the intrusion. Do any of you need a refreshment tonight?
Yep.
Fucking yep.
That's a big yep.
Not currently, but I will need one come evening break tomorrow.
Same for me. I'll need
What he
one
said.
tomorrow.
Right. Well, we can definitely provide that.
Also, is that stable boy available for feeding?
I'm afraid he's owned by a particular individual.
Pity.
Well, I can have a couple send up. How much do y'all need?
I mean, I can do 2 today and 2 in the morning. 2
I mean,
points, 2
if you
bludgeons.
need enough, we have a couple that we don't care what happens to them.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I'll take 1 whole person, please.
As you guys are again noticing this whole thing of Wea, who used to be the morals and oh no, killing is bad, is
I kind of lean over to Adele, like, does this mean I'm going to start caring about people and consequences and morality soon?
That'll never happen.
Thank you.
Is it like a Manic Monday situation where me and you switch roles?
Hey, if you want to spend an entire game trying to be the BSer, I am all for it.
Nah.
you guys just get to trade character sheets for a night. Only I'll have all the roles for your disciplines hidden, so you have to just kind of fumble your way through abilities that you don't know how to use. All right. So she nods at the one person. Is anyone else ordering room service?
Yeah, I just will be ordering one, but it'll be for tomorrow because she doesn't need it specifically right now.
So what I'm understanding is one of you wants supper and the rest of you are looking for breakfast.
Pretty much, yes.
That can be arranged. And you notice that she has very much a southern, like a Texan drawl for someone that's dressed up as a nun, and you get the idea that this might be very much not a nun, but just someone that is doing it out of force of habit. So she walks away. Octavian goes, well, I will be bedding down for the evening. I will see you all tomorrow.
I will see you in the morning, or in the evening.
That's the done. And he goes off his own way. I'd say about a good 15 minutes later, you see two individuals dressed up as monks, but kind of a little bit more burly. There's one guy with a thick black beard, another one that is clean shaven except for large blonde mutton chops, a little bit more on the heftier side, and they are muscling this person in. They have a burlap sack over their head, and they are brought in as they are bound, wrists with bound with rope, and they're as they're brought in. Enjoy. And they just kind of shove them in the room and close the door.
Oh, we got two people? We have to keep one of these during. Oh, okay.
Quick question. Can I feed while in wolf form?
Huh.
Never asked that before.
I'm gonna say sure.
Excellent. So are
Why
we just
not?
in this big chamber with this person?
It's not a big chamber. You guys, you're in a room that has 4 beds on it. You get the idea that you guys for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That if you guys wanted, there was spare beds in another room. It's kind of like a traveling kind of thing where it's just find an empty bed and you can sleep in it.
So we're all together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll just make it quick and fucking pull the top out or pull the sack over his head so I can look at him.
Okay.
And then I'll take 4 blood points, 5.
Okay. He has his moment of beautiful agony, pleasure, and but then slips into unconsciousness, and you know that he's not going to last the night.
Liam just wants to watch.
So you take 4 blood points.
I do.
All right. You all bed down for the evening. I'm going to say that we're going to end it there for tonight just because I know Danny has to get going. So we'll go ahead and end it there. Let's go ahead and quickly do XP. You all get an XP for showing up. I will say Atris and Liam get an extra XP for going into the Hell Room.
It's just hell. No big deal.
For anyone wondering, Jeff will be back next week. He just couldn't play this week.
And then go ahead and tell me something badass you did or something you learned, starting with Atris.
I guess this would have been our first time learning that not only can werewolves be created from men, they can be created from wolves.
Or at least born from, crazy. Less created and more. The genes can be passed along.
Would those be weremen?
Yeah. Yes.
They're men wolves.
Sure.
Liam.
Did Liam learn anything that he didn't already know about Lupine? We kind of thought we were going to get like some ace in the hole from here, and it was like, oh, these are things we knew. Also didn't do much of anything. Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Okay. Adele.
Well, I learned that this area is a bit more secure than it was the last time.
Yeah.
Things are a bit better kept up, taken care of, a little bit more secure, under new management, if you will.
Yes.
A little bit better now. A little bit better now.
That's true. Walter.
It's not super specific, but Walter learned that we're not gonna just go, oh yeah, we'll just go during new moon and they'll be their weakest, but that perhaps based on young werewolves. It's possible there's a good time of month, and he's learned that, more importantly, there's ties to other non-werewolves that we can exploit. And he has an idea forming. I also learned that the word were in front of werewolf means man,
Yep.
man-wolf.
Yep. It's not
So,
wolf.
so
They're
then,
not
so then they would,
Wolf
so then
were.
they would be, then they would be werewolves would be wolves that become men because they'd be werewolves, they'd be men.
They'd be man-wers. Wolf
Man,
wears?
bear, pig.
Wolf wears.
Wolf were.
All right, and Wea.
I think this is the first time Wei has learned the actual 5 complete forms of a werewolf.
Yeah,
That's good information to know.
yeah, that's a deep cut that most vampires don't dig that far into it, but it's good to know that they come in different forms so you can spot them and things like
Yeah.
that.
We've encountered all of them, but we sure weren't keeping count.
Oh, right.
I'd say you counted all of them except for the one that's in between the full
Yeah.
werewolf form
We
and the
did.
human form.
We did. We encountered one.
Okay.
The dude that Liam killed in the basement of Kasim's treasure trove, he turned into that, right?
That was the more.
That's right. He
Mid-panic?
did.
Oh,
he did.
Yeah.
All right, you gotta collect them all. Okay. So yeah, so everyone who gave me the something badass who did, you get the 2 XP. I think Atris, you're the only one that's getting 3 XP since Liam didn't learn anything, which is par for the course.
There are times where I don't. I played, but
And what did we learn? Nothing, and I'll do it again.
What are you not supposed
knowledge.
to do? Not supposed to.
You know what? I learned that even being bloodbound, Adele will just offer me up like nothing.
Yeah,
Yep.
basically. And
Don't,
you would do the same.
don't think
Bloodbound
that's
to you.
exclusive
Oh, wait, that's
to
not
being
true, I am.
bloodbound.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone at home, for watching us play. I know this was a little bit shorter session. Hopefully, in the future, we can do a little bit longer, but some of us have things to do in the morning, so we have to get to it. Jeff will be
Jobs,
returning,
life.
so we will get our NOS back. We are still working on those other videos that we've talked about. I think next up is actually our lovely Miss Adele is going to be doing her next character bio, so you'll get to find out about our local Toreador.
Mine should be up probably in the next week or so.
Nice. Okay, cool. So there should be a couple new videos coming out. Other than that, until next time we see everybody, keep your fangs and your wits sharp, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for following us. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yay.
Bye.